Let's have a look at the grid then. Stuart Oliver with Dave Jenkins on the front row. And Stephen Powell and Michael Oliver on row number 2. You might be thinking, where's Ryan Smith? Don't worry, he's coming shortly. John Bowler and Tom O'Rourke on row number 3. Behind them, David Smith and Neil Yates. Then we have our top of Division 2, John Powell and Simon Cole. And we'll chat to Pointy shortly about why Ryan Smith is thus far back. There is a reason for it. And we'll jump to our second row. There's a couple more drivers to come. Of course, Osborne and Handy and Ryan Smith. And here they are. Ryan Smith on row number 6, not used to that. Then Sam Osborne, the BTCC driver, and Archie Handy will start from the back. And that is our 13 trucks racing this afternoon at Pembrey, race 2 of their 5, of course, this weekend. Pointy should be joining me ever so shortly. Oh, he's walking ever so casually towards the commentary box, looking as cool as ever in his sunglasses and his cap, and he'll plonk himself down next to me, and we will talk about trucks for the next 15 minutes as they roar around the Pembrey circuit. Now, in the championship standings, Ryan Smith will still hold his lead, although it will be closed ever so slightly by Dave Jenkins, who finished second. In fact, who got the fastest lap in race number 1? If it was Ryan, then he would actually be joint on points. So that might be a lie, I've just told. But either way, Ryan Smith or Dave Jenkins, they will be number 1 and 2. Stuart Oliver was in third on 70 points, but Stephen Powell, with his win, will leapfrog him into third place, dropping Oliver down to 4th, and his son Michael Oliver in 5th place right now, and John Bowler in 6th. In Division 2, well, leading kind of Paul Rivette, who's not with us. That's Sam Osborne is in his truck this weekend. He was on 92 points though, so he did have a 30-point lead over John Powell. John Powell won the race, so we'll have halved that deficit to 15. So this could be a massive weekend for John Powell. Simon Nicole was just 2 points behind Powell in the Division 2 Championship. He took 2nd place in that one, so he will also close the gap on Paul Rivette. Archie Handy, by finishing the race, of course, did pick up plenty of points in the championship, so he's got his first ever points on the board in British truck racing. The trucks are on the track right now, as you can see. That is just out of the truck paddock. Because the trucks are so big and powerful, they have their own separate paddock at Pembrey on the outside of the circuit. The paddock for every other car is on the inside of the circuit. Sadly, there is no bridge or tunnel, so sometimes you do have to wait quite a lot of time if you're a pedestrian, because most of the things going on in terms of the Convoy Cymru, all of the rides and the extras and the truck rides and the motorbikes, the motocross, etc., and of course the popcorn and the ice creams, they are on the outside of the track, so you do spend quite a lot of time going back and forth, but there's plenty to see. Of course, the open paddock here at Bark events, as they are at all Bark events, it's so much fun for even a minor car enthusiast to walk amongst the cars that are here today. Is always an absolute joy. Here he comes with 2 cans of Pepsi Apple Tango-ish. Is one for me? Oh, it's Pepsi Max. No,
other cola drinks are available.
Pepsi Max Lime, there we go. You can't drink a fizzy drink whilst doing a live commentary.
Yes, you can.
You absolutely
Especially Pepsi,
cannot.
half a can. The burps, I think we should ask the audience actually to vote on the best burp.
We absolutely will not be doing that.
There's a comment section on the live stream for a reason, Ewan. Come on now.
No, it's not happening. Let's talk about racing. Question, yes, Ryan Smith starting on the 6th row of the grid.
Yeah, I honestly haven't got a clue. We were clueless.
I told everyone, Pointy will tell us why.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, no one in that paddock had a clue what was going on until about 3 minutes ago when the official grid for the second race came out. We've still not got a result for race 1 officially posted.
What?
Yeah, it's not been updated on TSA. It might be on the official notice board. We've not had it come down on TSA TSL as yet, which is of course where most, like 99% of the paddock gets their information from.
Can you challenge a 5-second sort of race limits? But you can challenge those, can't you? Is that what Ryan's done?
Well, he challenged it straight after the race. As it happens, and I only know this because I've been told myself and since given out the awards for it. Is the fact that Ryan Smith's truck never actually flagged up a second penalty. So even though he got that extra 10 seconds for the second track limits penalty, which then of course at that time put Steve Powell in first place, it never actually registered. So we're not sure where that second penalty came from effectively. So it's been redacted, taken, I don't know the posh word
rescinded,
for it.
Redacted,
rescinded, that's what I was looking for. Redactions is like official paperwork. Anyway, so they took that off, and that of course then put Steve Powell 1.2 seconds behind Ryan Smith again. Then
massive for the championship, isn't it? Yeah,
it was a bit of
But why 6th on the grid here? Because the first race doesn't affect this.
Well, no. So the second grid of the day is always the second fastest laps of qualifying from earlier on.
Yep.
So it would depend what the second fastest laps are on there. But of course, there could also be other things that I'm not allowed to talk about, which I of course know about, which might not necessarily be official as yet.
I don't want to get you in trouble, Pointy. So the grid format for British truck racing.
I'll tell you tomorrow.
Because we got. I'm going to tell you now.
Okay, go.
Because we've got 5 races. So the first race, the grid is the fastest time in qualifying. That makes complete sense. Race 2 decided by the second fastest time in qualifying.
Yes.
Makes sense. So if you only set one good time, then you're going to be down the grid, as Ryan is right now.
Indeed.
And then race 3, 4 and 5, they are races 1, 2 and 3 with the top 8 in each class reversed.
There you go.
So it's fairly straightforward, really, isn't it?
Clear as mud. And have you been
2018-16?
and then 14-13. We miss out 15.
I think that's a really good move.
It is, because the reasoning it was done so many years now, of course, you've been pretty much guaranteed at least 1 point, even if you come dead last. But the fact of the matter is that the top 3 or 4 were seeing such tightly run battles. I personally, this is my personal opinion, of course, nothing from anyone official whatsoever, my personal opinion, it was causing quite a lot of agitation and pressure and stress in the paddock, which, let's be honest, no driver should be under. And as the time goes through the year, you get more stress, more agitated, and you start to make decisions with poor taste, I think, and that's what they're trying to steer away from. If we make the gaps slightly bigger, slightly earlier, if you are pulling ahead of the pack, you will obviously be pulling ahead of the pack, which unfortunately is terrible news for Stuart Oliver, who won't be joining us for this race.
Oh no!
Indeed, yes.
What's up?
He's had an oil, so we saw him drop out of that first race this weekend. He did have damage on the rear right tyre. He had a flat tyre from an impact of Ryan Smith that we actually saw through the window, but that wasn't what took him out. He's got an oil pump issue, and unfortunately the block has been damaged due to the oil pump issue, and he won't be racing for the rest of the weekend.
Parts arriving overnight?
I doubt it, no. The problem is they suspect, due to the part that has been damaged, because the oil pressure on the engine has been so low for too much time, they're saying that it's caused block damage, so it would be an entire engine rebuild to get him back out onto the circuit.
Now, without wanting to be over dramatic, in terms of the championship, missing a race is bad. Missing a round is like, I don't want to say over, but
it's basically cabbaged his year. It is going to be an act of God for him to have a good enough opportunity to pull it back now. I mean, there is always a chance, a chance, but it would mean someone else having the same problem that he's had, or the same impact that he's having.
And he would never take Michael's car. Truck, sorry.
Well, apparently not, no. I mean, Michael, I believe, off the top of my head, might actually be doing better in points this year now than his dad already, based on just trophies and finishes. It's a chance. I mean, I was speaking to Michael about it earlier on, and it was a joke, but actually...
they will almost be tied, very closely, almost to tie the guys now,
but as we see down on the stream now, they are indeed starting to pull away. We see the green flag down here at Pembrey for the second race of the British Truck Racing Championship.
And as it stands right now, we don't know who won race 1. ish?
Well,
do we think
I mean, I do. I handed a trophy out to Ryan Smith, who then ended up being 1.2 seconds ahead of Steve Powell. Steve Powell second, Dave Jenkins third, and John Powell taking the one and only trophy for top spot in Division 2.
And yeah, because it came up on our TSL timing system. That's where we saw it, wasn't it?
Yes, it refreshed itself and sorted itself based on that second penalty, which was then taken away before we'd even left the pit lane.
Oh, there we go. So that is a 4th win of the season for Ryan. He only got 2 wins at Brands Hatch, because Stephen Powell, Paul Rivette and Dave Jenkins got 3, 4 and 5.
I love your sheet. That's so nice. That's really nice.
I've got
so organised.
4 bits of paperwork here.
Oh, that's really good.
That's how I do it. That's how I roll.
So informative. I wouldn't have a clue where to start. I'm not good with admin. Not great with admin. But looking out, just to go over some more details then, we had some issues with the young Archie Handy just about making it out of assembly for this race.
I mean, there's some dark smoke coming out the back of his truck right now.
Yeah, not in a healthy place. We did hear cheers as I was crossing the track moments ago. Quite quiet on the Western Front. Of course, we did have some issues with Tom O'Rourke, who had a bit of electrical trouble that they were sorting out. Of course, Arnie from Ryan Smith's team was there with to help out, basically. Dave Jenkins relatively unscathed from that race. John Bowler as well, and Michael Oliver taking a chill pill for their lunch break, which is quite nice, really. Steve Powell as well, resting on his laurels with his second place from the last race. However, John Powell, unfortunately, you might notice he is missing as well because he has engine head issues, and for the first weekend he decided not to bring a spare head. Which is a big bit of the engine. It's the whole top half of the engine, basically. It's the squeeze, bang, suck, blow, you know. So
this all plays quite well into the hands of Dave Jenkins right now, doesn't it? He's second in the championship.
He's looking good.
Ryan Smith starting in 11th place. With the new point system, which means it goes obviously 28-16, there's more chance than ever that if he can... Ryan Smith is undoubtedly going to come through the field here, to some extent, right?
Probably.
But regardless, whether he can reach Dave Jenkins if he maintains his place at the front, we will find out. But points up for grabs, more points than we've ever seen before. We're going to have one more green flag lap. We've done this a couple of times today already, still under damp conditions. Did you get wet earlier?
I did. It was very strange. Did you hear or see the thunder and lightning that rolled over as well?
Ella from Bark came running into this commentary booth as soon as the first clap of thunder rung out.
Was it to tell you about the weather or to hide from the weather?
She was I had to ask, why are you in here? She said, oh, the thunder. Wasn't going to tell me. Nothing to do with my safety. Very, very selfish act.
That's what I was looking for. That was the clarification I was looking for, yes. Was it to tell you? Was it to hide for her? Yes, I do quite like the parade laps. I mean, to be honest, a relatively straightforward race earlier on. I mean, lots going on, a great race to watch, but no massive issues with the trucks, which is great. So I suppose for the spectators, it's nice to see them in one piece for at least a couple of laps.
Do you want to know the best thing?
Go on.
We've actually got some footage in front of us that we can watch, and it's been pretty good the last couple of races.
It's insane. It's so good. I mean, when we were, let's be honest with it, with the viewers out there, when we watched that first stream, it was basically just custard with... I think
you summed it up well, commentating on porridge.
It was literally commentating on porridge,
We've got a good position here. We can see everything from Hatchett's hairpin right round through to the Senna S's just about. So we can see half the track, but then we can't see the start-finish line or the Honda curve, things like this. So I thought we did quite well.
I think we did fantastically. I think if you hadn't have told
I don't think anybody noticed.
No, if you hadn't have told them we hadn't seen anything, we'd have been absolutely fine. But yeah, so it has, of course, had a bit of a shower here. We were promised showers by the Met Office and indeed the Thunder and Lightning. So that does mean we should have a dry day of racing tomorrow.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. And of course, if you've not got tickets yet, you can buy tickets on the gate. This is the Convoy Cymru, the annual event where we have hundreds of show trucks here as well. Got the motocross. They're going round again.
They are. This is wow. They're really just learning the track. I don't know whether they're drawing out the racing line, perhaps, or what. But either that or Little Stewart's got lost in his
no, hang on.
truck.
That's part of the rally track. The pace truck should peel off to the right in a second.
Oh, glad.
There he goes. Right.
Minion is in the pits.
We are a few seconds away. David Jenkins leading the way right now. Second of the championship to Ryan Smith, who's starting 11th on the grid after winning the first race of the day here at Pembrey. To his right-hand side, Stephen Powell, and they will cross the start-finish line. And we will go British Truck Racing Championship racing for the second time this weekend. Dave Jenkins quickly moves to the inside ahead of Stephen Powell. Behind him, Michael Oliver, his dad not racing after engine issues earlier in the day. And first Preston to Hatchett's hairpin. A tight line too. A slightly wider line out for Michael Oliver. He's going to drop back to third place after going second over the line, but they're all through cleanly, and that is the most important thing in truck racing.
That is indeed. Not too much contact at all considering the slipping conditions on the track. A fantastic start. Of course, a much smaller pack than we started the weekend with you, but they are looking very good. Michael Oliver looking for that trophy this weekend. Again, we had a couple last week, last time we were here, sorry, and very, very impressed. Steve Powell, though, he's after it. He said to me in the pit lane earlier on, bit of bump drafting here from Ryan Smith, just as he comes up the outside of Neil Yates in 33, into the inside around that bend. Beautifully done. Like you said, he's after blood.
That is what we'll expect to see for the next 14 minutes of racing from Ryan Smith. He'll try and pick them off one by one, but Dave Jenkins already moving a little bit away from Oliver and Powell. Powell in the championship standings, 4th place right now. He will move ahead of Stuart Oliver due to his troubles. So that's a 3rd place already in the championship, pretty much guaranteed. Michael Oliver will look to do something about that. He'll still be a few points behind, but as we know, with the big new point system, everything up for grabs, and more than ever over the last few years of truck racing, there are opportunities to move throughout the championship standings. Look at Dave Jenkins go already 2.3 of a second. Powell holding off Oliver behind, then Bowler, Smith, Ryan Smith from 11th, already up to 5th place on the grid, and he's got Bowler in his sights.
He is after him, that is right. And further back as well, we're seeing some very good driving from British touring car driver Sam Osborne in the Napa truck. And of course, he did actually get all of his his penalties to stick. Ryan Smith now on the hunt for John Bowler. He's on his tail, looking for that gap. Will John Bowler be able to cope with the pressure? This is the tricky thing, though, isn't it? You're trying to overtake the truck in front whilst holding back the truck behind, but inevitably you will end up slowing down.
Ryan Smith looking at the inside around the Honda curve, gets Bowler. That's another one picked up. Next on the list will be Michael Oliver. And they'll be doing everything they can to stay out of like losing tenths of a second in competition. Look at Ryan Smith go. There's absolutely no stopping the guy at the moment. What happened quickly just to Adam Bint? No Adam Bint this season.
So yeah, Adam Bint took a season off this year. Apparently it's a well overdue truck rebuild that he's been looking to do for quite some time, and I think he just thought this year, he actually said himself, he was on circuit at Brands Hatch to help Stuart Oliver with a remap of an engine part, and he said he just need to work on the truck and have a season out.
It is one of the most iconic trucks in the grid, isn't it? It's an absolute monster to see.
It has been around, yes, and such a great team as well, the Bint family, a very close-knit group of people. Daisy, of course, Bint's better half, actually marshalling for us this weekend as well, I believe.
Look at Ryan Smith all over the back of Michael Oliver. No inches given or spared. I'm just waiting for the move. He'll move to the inside, and we will take it. Oh, just about. Michael Oliver, great defensive move to hold him off. Just enough speed in the tank. And this battle lets Powell just move up the track ever so slightly. Jenkins 4 seconds in the lead right now. Once again, they come around Honda onto the start finish straight. Great move down the inside, does it again. That's exactly where he took Bowler 1 lap ago. Ryan Smith from 6th row of the grid, 11th position, already up to 3rd, and reducing the deficit to Jenkins with every few hundred metres.
Absolutely incredible racing. I mean, we're just 11 minutes left now of the race. We are steadily seeing Ryan Smith now has gone past Michael Oliver. He is out of that 3rd place position now, but will he be able to catch up enough with Steve Powell to get a podium or not? Watch this space as that gap. Look how quickly Ryan Smith pulls away from Michael Oliver there. The power out of these corners is insane.
And all credit to Dave Jenkins, our leader, absolutely storming away, clean air out in front and taking advantage of that. Not a single misstep corner so far. A 6-second gap back to Powell, then Ryan Smith 1.7 behind. Even if Smith can get past Powell, can the power of Smith even catch Dave Jenkins now? It's a question that we might see answered. Osborne drops 2 seconds behind Cole right now, so Cole, that will be his first Division 2 win of the season, because Paul Rivette won every single race at Brands Hatch, all 5 of them, and Powell won Division 2 this morning. So Cole, at the moment, on course for his first Division 2 win of the year.
Yeah, Simon Cole, good lad. I mean, he's been in this sport for quite some time, and it's quite looking forward to seeing him get it. So we've getting reports that we've had an incident. We're trying to find.
can't see it.
Neil Yates is there. Still not got a Tomo.
Off and out at the moment. No yellow flags I can see, so we look all good at the moment. But
we're looking good.
We'll keep our eye on that. One more lap completed, 9 minutes of racing. I thought we've already raced about 15 minutes. But Dave Jenkins continues to stretch his lead at the front, and it's a clear split between Division 1 and Division 2. Yates leading the back of the field for Division 1. And Osborne has moved, so it was Cole, maybe Cole left the track for him momentarily, because he's dropped 3 seconds back, and Osborne, the BTCC driver, has moved into first place in Division 2 and leads by 3.5 seconds.
Crikey. Well, it all is about the pressure. Ryan Smith now looking for Steve Powell, getting ever closer. He's so close to that back end. I mean, I'm glad brake checking's not allowed in this sport, I tell you. no chance. But yeah, I mean, Osborne, wow, I mean, without any penalties, this could be the deserved win that he was looking for earlier on, I think.
And then just coming right in front of us now, and it's gone beyond 3 seconds. It's up to 4 or 5 seconds now. Looking good for Osborne. And Ryan Smith does go through eventually on Powell. Next up, Jenkins, but it's a 7-second gap with 7.5 minutes remaining. But look, once he gets past, he puts the foot down and he moves away. It's incredible machinery.
Something, there is some magic fairy dust in that Freightliner. I tell you what, is absolutely incredible. The way he manages to accelerate out of these situations is phenomenal. It truly is.
Right, let's have a look then. It was 6.7 seconds, and that'll be the thing we watch now on the timing screen. Oh, it's 7.5 actually. So he lost another second or so, Ryan Smith, and that final move to get past Powell. Michael Oliver, let's not forget about him, currently lying in 4th position, 2.5 seconds behind Powell, still in this fight for podium places. And as they come round to Benny, the gap between Smith and Powell is almost the same as Powell to Oliver, and then Oliver to Bowler. Still so much up for grabs here. Jenkins is absolutely away right now. Ryan Smith is on the charge and the chase, again starting from 11th up to 2nd. Can he catch Dave Jenkins? Massive question mark. But the race for 3rd and the final podium position, that is one that we'll watch to the very end.
Indeed it is, and I tell you what though, Osborne looks free and easy now though, with a huge gap either side of him. I mean, he's got clean air, he's got no competition behind him, yeah, it's I mean, even such a bigger gap to 3rd place for Division 2 as well. John Powell's on the screen 3 times. Wow, he's a busy boy this race, isn't he?
Now the transition from cars to trucks, of course, good drivers, they know the racing line, they know when to accelerate, but it's the size of the machinery around you that must be so different.
Totally. I mean, to sit in one of those cabs, I know you sit low in a racing car, but in those trucks there is so much stuff around you. You are literally sat in a pit of metal.
And you'll never be used to, because they do sway from left to right ever so slightly, so your body won't be used to turning left-hand side and your body actually moving about half a metre to the right-hand side.
There is a lot of roll, especially around some of these tighter bends here at Pembrey. And again, like you say, even though you're strapped into the chassis the same as you are in any racing vehicle, you do feel that whole body roll a lot more than you would do in a car. But again, speaking to Sam down in the pit lane earlier on after that first race, he couldn't comment which one he preferred, but you could tell he wanted to say it was truck racing.
Ryan Smith has cut the deficit by 2 seconds from 7.5 to 5.5 seconds. That's ominous right there. That was within about a lap and a half, and we're going to see at least 4 more laps.
2 seconds per lap and a half. I think that's an inevitability.
This is going to be Ryan Smith beat Dave Jenkins. I think it's going to be a last lap shootout potentially. We're 5 minutes away. I already cannot wait. There's Sam Osborne on screen right now. He's a 5.5 second lead over Simon Cole. Cole, if you're just joining us, was leading by 2.5, then left the track, which we didn't see.
I wish we could get a replay of that.
But all of a sudden, he was 3 seconds back, so found the grass somewhere. You might be able to see the tracks in the grass from where you are if you're watching this at trackside too. Maybe you saw it and you can tell us. But behind it is still Jenkins. Let's have a look at the split now.
I believe Jenkins has just lapped Archie Handy, in fact, as well, so he's now catching the pack.
So that could be, depending on where he passed him, if Ryan Smith has to wait a few more seconds to find a decent place to pass, that could be a little bit significant.
Could be the kind of buffer that he needed.
Absolutely, yeah. Oliver 2.8 seconds back on Powell right now, so the gap to third becoming not unbridgeable by any means whatsoever. We've seen what Cole did earlier. Anybody can come off under a little bit of pressure, but it's all about the chase of Ryan Smith, and it's now under 5 seconds to Dave Jenkins.
Weather conditions continue to stay dry out there. The track can only be getting drier as the laps go by. We've just over 5 minutes left. We're talking about 4.5 laps, I'd say, of the race to remain. And Dave Jenkins is now under pressure. It looked like a big gap, but I tell you what, Ryan Smith is on the warpath. He's coming for Dave Jenkins.
Yeah, I'm sure Dave Jenkins is looking in his mirrors, and Ryan Smith will be getting ever so slightly bigger and bigger and bigger over the last couple of laps or so, and he will have the bit in his teeth, Ryan Smith, because this would be a pretty, I mean, he's had a lot of wins, several very impressive ones coming through the field, but from 11th to potentially catching on the last lap. There'll be so many fingers crossed of teammates and mechanics for Dave Jenkins to hold on here. He's a very experienced driver, very accomplished and very good driver. You'd like to think that, you know, he's going to put up a brilliant fight. It is down to 3 seconds. There's the visual on this. The charging green Daimler Freightliner of Ryan Smith. He's done everything he can so far. He's ticked off 9 overtakes. He's got 1 more to do. And we are into our last 3 minutes of racing. There'll be 3 more laps here. And Ryan Smith is closing by about 1.5 seconds per lap right now. For the entertainment on side and the neutral, this is brilliant.
The battle is fantastic, and I think that's what people come to see. And to be fair to Ryan Smith, that's what he offers to the spectators. That battle, that coming from behind, so many positions down on the first lap, to all of a sudden chopping them off one by one until here he is. And it really will be a full-on head-to-head defensive battle for that last lap, I think.
Stephen Powell looks to have wrapped up, for the time being, third place, a good 3 or 4 seconds ahead of Michael Oliver. He's of course not going to catch Ryan Smith right now. I say that, dare I say it, track limits. Anyway,
well, you don't know. This is it. Anything could happen in the next half an hour.
Especially if you're chasing this hard and you just push a little bit too hard and just push the rules ever so slightly.
You've got to find one bit of tarmac that's not dried out yet.
Just to be sure, to be certain, we don't want to see any track limits at all. We want to see pure racing.
Yeah.
But it's happened. It's definitely a card that can come out, a joker in the pack that we don't want to see. Look at this, Ryan Smith now pretty much on the back of Dave Jenkins. It's just over 1 second.
It's corner by corner.
And they're going to get 2 more laps in. So right now, you could effectively say that Ryan Smith has caught Dave Jenkins, and Dave Jenkins will now be defending for a couple of laps. A little bit of white smoke there, twice out the back of Ryan Smith's right rear. It may just have been an ever so slightly minuscule lockup, but I haven't seen any of the cars do that at that point as they come round Spitfires. No signs, actually, of the engine issues we saw in qualifying for Ryan Smith.
I know, yeah. I mean, to think that he had people lay across his engine moments before the first race, and now he's just driven the way he's driven and achieved from the truck what the truck has just given him. It really is night and day, but that is truck racing. I mean, you know, we've got Stuart Oliver up on tower lifts, on Total Care tower lifts over there in the paddock, and we thought he'd be flying this morning when we saw him pull away.
Right, we'll go around one more time. Dave Jenkins has got, Ryan Smith moves to the outside, goes to the inside, the almost contact, they'll go towards Hatchets, can he take the inside, goes to the outside again.
Oh my gosh.
What defending, what attacking, go to the inside. This is ridiculous. Toe to tail,
who's got
round Hatchets. Can he get him on the switchback? No, he can't. And Dave Jenkins kicks on.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I think that was his chance, and if he didn't take it there, Ewan, I don't believe he's going to get another one. Dave is on fire.
That is the big overtaking chance as they move round to Benny towards the centre S's. We're leaning out the window and not even looking at the screen here as they streak round. Can Dave Jenkins hold on? He's done so for 15 minutes of racing, the 15 minutes of run.
Side
Smith
by
to the
side.
inside,
But
there's
no.
contact,
Ryan
and
Smith
Dave
backs
Jenkins
back
sliding
again.
onto the grass. Oh my word, and Smith has slowed down. Is that a bit of chivalry maybe? Surely he could have got past there on the inside, but he's held off and they go toe to tail again. There'll be two more slight right-handers round Woodlands and around the Honda curve. Can Dave Jenkins bring this home? It has been 2 laps of pure defence against the 8-time reigning British truck racing champion. They are not going to get done on the Honda curve. Dave Jenkins will get it done.
Come on, Dave.
What a win!
Oh.
What a spectacle for British truck racing, defending at its best. And there will be pure respect between those two men.
Best lap of the season so far, I think. That was absolutely incredible driving all the way to the end from Dave Jenkins. I don't know what we just saw that last corner there, but my gosh, that was something. I mean, I am Switzerland with this sport. I support all of them, and I just love seeing someone win.
I want to see a replay of the left turn around to Benny, where Smith clearly had half a nose up alongside Dave Jenkins. It looked like Dave Jenkins had his 2 left-hand wheels on the grass there, and almost like Ryan Smith pulled back. I might have been completely seeing things, but that is just how it looked first time. This is what we're going to see now. This is earlier on in the race. This is so Ryan Smith started to pick off. Is that Powell there? No, that's not.
That'll be 33 Neil Yates there, just he comes up behind Dave Smith. I mean, it literally so smooth, those first couple of trucks. The pack was very close together, and he made light work of it, let's be honest, sorry there. The first few positions, John Bowler next, picks him off before the next bend. I mean, he did 4 positions in 1 lap pretty much, which is impressive driving.
And then it was Michael Oliver, then Stephen Powell, and then the long chase that took almost 6 full laps to catch Dave Jenkins, but couldn't pass him.
Wow. Incredible.
That is some of the best in a truck racing display.
I'm going to go and ask him how he feels, Ewan.
Go and do it. Go and interview the drivers. I'm sure you'll speak to both of them. Cannot wait for this, to hear what they have to say. Well, Pointy leaves the commentary truck. We'll see you again tomorrow, Pointy. Thanks for joining us. And we'll go and speak to, hopefully, certainly both of Dave Jenkins and Ryan Smith for their experiences of that race. So this is the Stephen Powell chase and move. This was on a roundabout lap number 9. Oh, and here we go on the Dave Jenkins. So this was the start of the lap. Left, right, left, right. And Dave Jenkins says, no, 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 no. Not today, Ryan Smith. Gets a nice kick away from Hatchett's hairpin, round Spitfire. This was the move here. So went to the outside, then to the inside, around to Benny, around the centre. S is pulled right alongside. And yes, there was contact. And I'm going to say quite confidently that Ryan Smith thinks, I was a bit unfair there. Back you come, Dave. I don't deserve this one. And that is what this sport is all about. Yes, it's competitive, but my goodness, are they gentlemen too? Here we are then, the official results. Jenkins, Smith, Powell. I know Pointy is down there and desperate to speak to the drivers. So let's come back to this and let's jump down to Pointy in the pit lane with our drivers.
Well, here I am again. What a fantastic result. I cannot believe the racing we just saw. We need to find Dave Jenkins. Dave, what a battle. Absolutely incredible result. First of all, we've got to ask, what happened over there? What happened? I mean, we saw Ryan Smith making a move, backing off. You were there, a bit of grass.
I think I used up one of my 9 lives there. Ryan had got his nose in like Ryan does, but he had just got the wheel over the curb on the inside to make the gap. So I defended the gap, he tapped me, got me on the grass, and then he gave way and let me get back on and let battle commence again. So that was brilliant.
I mean, literally, we saw Ryan, let's be honest, he was hunting you down for about 5 laps, closer and closer, about a second a lap, then all of a sudden, it was neck and neck, that final lap. What a show for the fans, but what a result for Dave Jenkins.
No, brilliant result for me. That was, the team have worked really hard this weekend, and I've got 3 of the most amazing sisters in the world that are having a bad time at the moment, so that one was for them.
There we go, it's all for family. Dave Jenkins, ladies and gentlemen, first place in race 2 here at Pembrey Circuit. Ryan, very quickly, we'll speak to you. Let's get your account of that little tussle that we saw. I mean, honestly, I thought it was game over for both of you at one point.
No, I let him back on. The move was, you know, I've been in there already this morning. Did I want another one? It was 50-50. Listen, let's not take nothing away from Dave. And my guys.
It was a battle.
No, because we was 9 seconds behind him when we got clear, and I said, look, people pay the money to come and watch. Let's have a bash. And you know, I had a go, but do you know when I got onto the back of him? He drove so well, and I had a go. He blocked me off. I touched his side panel. He went off, and I braked out, let him back on. He thoroughly deserved that win. The better man won on the day. I'm happy to win tomorrow.
Fantastic. Only just look at that. Fantastic camaraderie and respect through the championship. Now let's head over quickly to speak to two Napa drivers, one of which is driving, one of which is not. Sam Osborne, British Touring Cars, you should have had that result earlier on today, but this time you kept it on the tarmac, sir.
Yeah, that's a big bonus, isn't it? You've got to keep it on the tarmac.
And how did it feel for you? Obviously the result you should have got. Did you feel more elated this time round, like you've actually achieved?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely a bit more nervous for this one. I've never driven the truck in the wet or the damp, so going into it was a complete unknown. But yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? So truck handles really nice, rotation's good. Yeah, it's alright.
I mean, a lot of the drivers, they prefer dry or they prefer wet, but not many of them say, yeah, I like it when it's damp. And you're like, yeah, no one does well in the damp. So, fantastic result for you. Surely the rest of the team will be very happy. A few drinks to celebrate tonight, or are you clean and concentrated?
I might have a pint. I might swing it to one.
Just the one. And have you been taking much feedback, much information from Paul? Any guidance?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Paul's worked for me actually back in Clio days and everything like that. I want it. So, yeah, he's taught me everything this weekend, and I owe it all to him. So, yeah.
Other than the fact of how to climb a ladder, you've not learnt that off him, I take it.
Yeah, when he's a bit, I have to be a bit careful around ladders with him, but. But yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
And Paul, quickly to you then. Fruits of your labour paying off by the looks of it.
Sam's doing a cracking job, isn't he? He really is, you know. He got in this truck yesterday. First session was a bit of a baptism of fire in testing, and every time he's gone, he just got faster and faster, understands it more and more. We knew that win was on the cards in that one, and did a cracking job to pull it, to bring it home, you know. Simon didn't make it easier for him. He was off at the start, and then, luckily enough for Sam, Simon had a little off out the back there, but I think Sam would have reeled him in and passed him anyway. He had the pace on him, and fastest lap in class as well. So, you know, maximum points for Sam out of that race, and what a job on his first day truck racing, eh?
What a job, what a first day, what a first day. That should be a headline. If we do headlines on Bark Live, we should have what a first day. Well, congratulations to you, Sam. Let me shake your hand. And teacher Paul, over the hill, but not forgotten. I'm sure we'll have him back in the championship soon enough.
One more thing to mention as well. So Sam did start that race on the back row because he's classed as a novice in truck racing, so that's time from the back row. So I think now for tomorrow they can can that one and put him in with the rest of the grid.
And with the pros. Is that you going with the pros now, are you? No pressure. You know we'll come and let your tyres down before the race when you're pros, you know that, right? You've got to just got to adapt and modify. Right, gents, you need to start hobbling back across because you're not going to have time to cross the track. I'm going to hand the microphone back to Ian because he's got some more interviews to do. But until then, over to Ewan back in the commentary bus, which is terribly luxurious. Ewan?